So, welcome back again, Canon Fire TV on a Sunday. On Sunday, I'm not gonna timestamp this Sunday, and I'm just watching Coventry versus Man United, and it's still 3-3. Welcome, Ralph. How was your geezer?
I'm good, bruv. I'm
Yeah,
good. I'm good. Like I said, I just finished work and raced over. Raced over. We
good.
were back to eat at the same time. It's been a really busy day today, but I'm glad to be on the platform with you.
Nice one, geezer. Likewise. We are waiting for Brother Prosper, and he will come on as of when he is ready. But I wanted to get my brother's thoughts about the Bayern Munich game. And where I usually start is the start 11. This was the 11, Ralph, that played against Bayern Munich. Any surprises for you? Were there any players you thought should have been picked to start? Or
No, I thought that it was a fair lineup. To be honest, it's at their ground, so
Allianz? Yeah.
yeah. I saw maybe not the first 15 or 20 odd minutes of the first half, but going into it, like I was saying to our sister earlier in the week that I kept flipping my phone because whenever we had possession, we seemed to give it away quite cheaply, and to me, Bayern was just running through us. They were running through us. They had chances. And it seemed like it was like a chess game, but they had the how can I put it? They made better use of the chessboard than we did.
Yeah, quite tentative, isn't it? And
Yeah,
as I said on the instant post-game reaction, when I looked at the first half, I thought Arsenal equipped themselves fairly well. Neither team wanted to give an inch for fear of conceding a goal in the first half. But the second half kind of lit up, didn't it? Kind of lit up. And just to think, Harry Kane didn't score against us, Ralph.
yeah.
It
I
didn't
think
matter.
he was well shackled, but it still rankles with me that they got away. Uh, Like we was talking after the game, and you surmised that you felt that Arsenal was playing for penalties, and I was thinking I was optimistic at work. I did say to one of the guys at work, who's a Liverpool fan, by the way, I said to him, I don't think we're going to beat Bayern at their ground. It's just the fact that it's not they're not a bogey team or whatever. They have got a lot of history behind them in the Champions League. They know how to set up their stall. We're still this this is going to sound pedantic and maybe simplistic, but it seems as if we're still learning. But it's a newer team, but to me, it's the same old failings. We was okay for the first half, and then it's like, okay, Bayern just stepped it up a gear. We was okay against Aston Villa in the first half, and also because we didn't take our chances, we probably thought, oh, well, chances will come. But no, Unai just tactically switched a few players in midfield, and they came at us.
Mm, mm,
It's the same patterns.
yeah. And Mikel Arteta, it's I don't know. I'm not gonna. It's Sunday. It's Sunday. I'm not gonna
You're
rant
gonna
on a
you're gonna
Sunday.
try and keep it holy, are you?
I'll try and keep it. Keep it holy. I can't guarantee that, man. But yeah, Mikel Arteta, I think for me is still learning on the job, Ralph. He's still learning on the job, and we can probably talk about Jorginho. He's a Champions League winner. Gabriel Jesus, is he a Champions League winner?
What,
No,
he's
he's
in
not.
a
No,
team?
he's a Premier League winner.
Yeah,
Premier League
Premier
winner.
League.
Kai Havertz is a Champions League winner. He was with Chelsea. So the team is still a little bit inexperienced in Europe. I think it's down to our mentality, Ralph. I don't think we take it serious. We don't take it serious enough. You
Well,
know,
like James Rose said many times, we've been in this Champions League for 19 seasons or 20. I'm trying to get the
20.
20 seasons.
Yeah.
And we've had so many bites at the cherry. This is what James Rowe says. He says we had so many bites at the cherry. I don't think there's any cherries left. I think we just we just got pipped. That's what we got. We got pips. We don't have the cherry. But we had a lot of, we had some good opportunities to win it. The mentality factor, and I think I'm going to start out blaming. I don't wish to on a Sunday. I say it's not the fact it's a Sunday. It's just the fact that I don't want to sound negative. But if we want to look at the cold hard facts, there's no point being in the position of playing in the competition just to get financial rewards. Now, James Rowe again. I'll keep on quoting James Rowe, but you have to listen to what he says. When James Rowe and I think Eltel came up with the same chain of thought, that years ago, the only way you got into the Champions League is that you have to have won the Premiership. And then all of a sudden, now it's like, if you're second or third or fourth place, you get a chance to play. And to me, that kind of like devalues the European status of that trophy. But when you win it, you win it. And like I said to you earlier today, Notts Forest won it. Aston Villa, who were on the cusp after their European success, Thursday night, I think it was, they've got a manager that can steer them through Europa. Celtics won it. I'm not sure if Rangers have won it in their history.
No, they haven't.
No. But then you've got Liverpool, you've got Man United, you've got Chelsea. Now, during the time that Wenger was in his pomp, as it were, the only time we came close was a semi and was the final. And with the final, we know what happened. I don't want to relive that because I still have nightmares when we go back into it. But we've had a fair good run. Chelsea hasn't been in the competition. Actually, now to add, Man City as well have won it. Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea. If you want to look at recent times, they've been in the competition the least amount of seasons, and they've won it. And we've been in it longest.
Yeah.
And we haven't done. Yeah. So it's not. It's everything's all subjective. But we play against Bayern. They knew how to maneuver us, and we lost it at home. We gifted 2 goals at home. We've had such a good record at home, and we gifted 2 goals in the competition where I'd rather that we gifted 2 goals early in the season than on the run that we've had.
It could have been worse, Ralph. It could have been worse.
It could have been worse.
Yeah, well, for that handball, that Gabriel, you got the goalkeeper passing the ball to you, and I don't know what he's thinking. Really, I have no idea what he was thinking. But anyway, Prosper.
Yeah.
Good evening, brother. What's happening, man?
Hey, Prosper.
Nothing much. Just chilled. Hi, Ralph. It's been a while, brother.
Yeah, all the best to you, man, and your family.
Yeah, and the whole Canon family. Here we are again.
Yeah. Prosper, we're just talking about the Bayern Munich game, man. We lost it. Well, we lost it. We lost it at home, and we lost it in the second leg at the Allianz. Mikel Arteta. I blame Mikel Arteta.
Yeah, I mean, the blame goes beyond Mikel Arteta for me. I mean, Edu's statement before, was it February or early February, late January, when he said the Champions League is not our priority. That was a deal breaker for me. You don't do such a thing. Even if you know it, keep it to yourselves up there. Because when the player is in the pitch and then push comes to shove, the player won't give an extra mile. Because they know anyway the board is already satisfied with what we've done.
Yeah.
You see? Yeah. So sometimes I think we should look at football beyond what's happening on the pitch. And the biggest problem Arsenal has got is the board and the whole top brass management thing, because we have the quality players and probably would get a quality manager if the board was in line with the program of, okay, guys, I think we have a team that can win trophies. Let's get a manager who can win trophies. Or let's demand Arteta must win a trophy, because just that demand on his shoulders to know that if he doesn't win a trophy, a big trophy this year, he's going out, will make him work extra hard. But if everybody knows we already got our jobs, our contracts will be revisited and they are going to issue us contracts. The players know, well, even if I don't play very well at Arsenal, I'll always keep my J's. I'll always be the first one to be picked in the lineup. Nobody goes an extra mile. You see, because as I was saying on the group, Bayern is a big force. And when it comes to Arsenal, I would rather meet Real Madrid because we've beaten them before, or Barcelona, but not Bayern, because Bayern, it's really proven difficult to beat Bayern. You know, and people were like, no, this is the weakest Bayern. I'm like, look at, I started way back, September. This is the weakest the Premier League has been the past 2 years. If you can't win it now, when everybody else gets their house in order, Chelsea, Manchester United, it will be very difficult to win it. Same as the Champions League. Right now, most European teams are broken. They're still restructuring their teams. It was very easy for us to climb up and maybe chance the trophy. But as usual, we bottled it up. So for me, it's Arteta, the board up there. Everything is wrong. When we get it right with the players and the money, then there's wrong management at the club. It's always these two things. They never synchronize. They're never in one accord at the same time.
But let me ask you, both of you, here's a question for both of you, Prosper and Ralph. If Arteta was to win the Premier League, even though I've said it's going to be Man City, if he was to win the Premier League, can he be forgiven for the previous seasons? Is that not enough for us to say, you know, he's worthy of 2 more seasons at Arsenal? Or
look, okay, Ralph, go.
I was going to say that if he wins the Premiership, then I think in a sense it'd be like all's forgiven, because one, he's a manager in training, well, a coach in training. I was talking to another friend of mine, and we was talking about the differences between like being a coach and being a manager. You know, he's a top level coach. He was a number 2 at Man City. You know, he earned his badges and his coaching badges with Man City. And I remember we kind of like joked that he's got the playbook from Pep, but then I think Pep may have seen that coming and gave him a plan, because Pep's got A, B, C, D plans. And when Arteta comes with his plan, when it comes unstuck, that's where the team tends to stick and falter. So I think there would be a sense of all's forgiven, because we've gone without winning the Premiership for such a long time, Alex. I think that's what will happen, and then there may be a refocus on Champions League. But then again, like Prosper said previously, none of these things seems to be in alignment. It's either the board can be a bit forward thinking but not the manager, or the manager's forward thinking and not the board. And we've been here a long time, and we know long enough now as fans, Arsenal fans, that Kroenke is pretty much just lining his own pockets, and his son is there, you know, going along, towing the party line. But I don't see any kind of forward structure, any kind of difference in approach to make us a even bigger and better club. It always just seems to be all under the surface. Yeah, you have to play your cards right, of course. But then last season was the season where nobody expected us to have the run that we did. And I said at the end of that last season that it'd be very difficult for us to win the Premiership. And here we are on the cusp, and we've got a more difficult run-in than our rivals. And I said to Yax as well that I don't particularly want or care about my rivals. I don't care about who, if it's their right, if their run's easy or not. When you become a champion, you take every match and you beat everyone. That's what the definition of a champion is. So for me, if Arteta wins the Premiership, it'd be, all's forgiven. Now let's see what the focus is. If he can do it again with the Champions League.
Okay. Prosper, for you, is he forgiven if he wins the Premier League?
I mean, Arteta was my boy. When he just came in, I was the guy on Facebook fighting everyone on whatever Ghana's platform. No, give him a chance, this and that and that and that. Then first season, I'm like, okay, he's just getting a hold of things. Second season, then he starts making these mistakes. So I'm like, okay, he will rectify them the third season. And then they come up again this season. I'm like, okay, I think this is becoming a recurring issue now. This is becoming a chronic illness, But he wins the league for me, or is forgiven. Now we go back and sit, because there's still time now. We go back and say, okay, Arteta, you've won the league by luck or by chance or whatever. Sometimes you need luck in football. But right now, we're not going to do the blunders we did last season and the previous season. We're going to fix what we don't have. Defending midfielder, 2 center forwards, another attacking midfielder, a must.
Yeah.
Then we look at other positions, because those are recurring positions that we haven't had for the past 2-3 seasons. And you can't say at the top flight of everything, Arsenal is at the cream of world football. You can't say we're going into the season to win a league without a center forward. It's not about the money with Arsenal. It's not about the pedigree of the club that players don't want to come at Arsenal. It's just about poor planning. So how do you forgive that?
Yeah, but the thing is, but the thing is, Prosper. I posed the question. If he wins the Premier League, is all forgiven, and you'd imagine that the board would give him a contract extension for success, but also he's going to be rewarded for failure, because even if they do not win the Premier League, Prosper, he will still be here for an additional 2 seasons.
They've already given him the money. They've already given him the money.
That sounds so he's very reminiscent to when Arsene Wenger, after he won the FA Cup, he had a chance to leave at the top or to go, as a winner, and he stayed because they offered him. They said to him, Arsene, here's another extension on your contract. And he decided to stay, and it was like the worst season he ever had. It ended in him being ousted, unfortunately. And there's another point I want to bring up as well.
But at least with Arsene Wenger, before he arrived at Arsenal, all right, he had managed Monaco, Grampus 8, and the other team I forgot. So he came with the experience. And the tenureship he had at Arsenal, you can forgive him because he gave us the Invincibles. We won the Premier League. Okay, we got to the final Champions League. We didn't get over the line. So that era of Arsenal relatively can be forgiven. But you've got a coach who hasn't managed any major team or any team at all. We give him £700 million, Prosper. £700 million. We look at the trophy cabinet. We've won the Community Shield and the FA Cup. £700 million.
Yeah, this is where I come back, even on the group, I come back to scrutinize every single detail. Because if you look at the money that has come in and the players that are really ticking at Arsenal, they're not the players who Arteta really brought at Arsenal. The players that are really ticking are the Unai players. They are the ones that are holding that team together. There might be a few like Trossard, yes, but if you look at it, Saka, Martinelli, Saliba, these are Unai's boys. And when he just came in, he didn't want Saliba. He sent him on loan. The usual, everything Unai must go. Then he sees him playing for France. He's like, oh, I made a mistake. Let me call him back. and the guy didn't want to sign for Arsenal.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
So this is where I come in, even on the group, and I say, if he doesn't win anything this time around, and next season he plays the same, oh, I've got a favorite player, Kai, and we win nothing. Players like Saliba are going, Saka are going, because if Madrid comes calling for Saka, there's no way he's staying at Arsenal. For what? No silverware, loyalty to what? When everybody else is not playing loyalty, apart from the fans, they are playing the money game. They are loyal to the money. So the players should be loyal to what? You see? So, I mean, for me, he wins the league. Well, I can give him a chance because he's won it. Let's see how it goes. But if you look at the money that has been exposed or has been splashed to him, if you look at what Unai was working with, what Wenger was working with when we were building the stadium, this guy has been blessed with too much resources. And the money that I posted the link on the group, is it 2 days ago, 2 nights ago? They've given a huge amount again. You see? So with that huge amount, we're supposed to be seeing big trophies, and we're not supposed to be backing out of any cup just because we want to. We're supposed to go all in, challenge for everything with the money that has been splashed on him. You see? So we win the league, well and good. I'll say, okay, fine. We wanted a trophy. Here it is. Let's give him another season. But if he continues with the same route whereby he's obsessed with the left winger or left midfielder, Martinelli's position, he's always buying there. I don't know for what reason. Then on the right, we've got a deficiency. You see, then he goes to buy another player who is not a center forward, trying to make a name for himself, or he changed whatever. It doesn't work that way. You're not experienced. Do the basics right first. Get that experience on your shoulders. Then you can start experimenting and being Pep. Pep can be forgiven for experimenting. He's won it all. You know?
Prosper,
Sure.
I'm just wondering, does it come down to Stan Kroenke and just Kroenke not really understanding the history of Arsenal or maybe the sport? Because like you just said there, we should not be just giving up cup competitions. Try and win as many cup competitions as you can. So is that not down to the not Josh Kroenke really not understanding the history of Arsenal? Because they just didn't want the money. It's just a cash cow, isn't it, Arsenal? It's only a cash cow.
Yeah, I don't think it's about understanding the sport. They've been there long enough to understand the game, to understand the culture, to understand everything that goes on in English football.
Right.
It's all about what are they taking from it all? What did they come to do? The agenda. What was the agenda? And I always talk about the syndicate agenda. It's a syndicate because there's no way, in all logical sense, there's no way Ralph or Alex or anyone on Cannon Fodder, I'm having $1 billion or a $10 billion investment. I'm assuming Arsenal is somewhere there between 5 and 10 billion USA dollars. And then I go and pick a fresh graduate from college to come and manage a $10 billion investment. You see, and then splash all the money to that college graduate. When Everton can pick an Ancelotti, an experienced person, a top-class manager, what's the excuse for Arsenal? So to me, it all looked like, okay, fine. These guys want to splash money to an intern so that tomorrow when all fails, when we start getting agitated as fans, they should say, you know what, but we tried, we gave this guy the money he wanted, he failed, and whatever. So for me, it's all about what's the agenda. With Arteta, they'll buy time because everybody will be saying, let's give him more time to gain experience. Let's give him more time. What's in the process of let's give him more time? Their pockets are getting fatter. Their agenda is working. You see? Because a top-class manager will come with his demands. He will say, I want this and this and this a player, and I want this and that. We should achieve this and that. But Arteta, they just told him, look here, you have no games under your belt, so we're giving you an opportunity, lower leagues or lower teams. We're giving you an opportunity to brand off as a manager who managed a big club. So that's what you do. You stay at Arsenal, nobody will fire you. And Arteta is doing that. You see?
Yeah.
Sign
There's no pressure.
Ancelotti and tell him, yes, you're not going to sign Ancelotti and tell him, you know what, let's not go hard on the Champions League. Let's just buy players that are going to get us to top 4. He will say, no, I've got my record to maintain. People know me because I win trophies and I want to challenge. He's not going to dance to top 4 tune or Europe tune or whatever. No. You see? That's why Arsenal is always going for low-class managers. Even at Wenger's time, Wenger wasn't the top manager Arsenal could have got for its caliber. They went for, and it was just fortunate that it worked for us. You see? But it's the culture that has to change at Arsenal. Because as Ralph was saying, you look at teams like Manchester United, Chelsea, and the other teams, they'll go dry. They will restructure everything. Within 2-3 years, they're up there challenging for a big trophy. They'll win it. But at Arsenal, we haven't had that problem in terms of structural problem or ownership problem. That transition, we haven't gone through. It's been at least smooth. The only problem we've had is we were building a stadium, and that was draining our finances. We couldn't put in more money. But structure-wise, we're a bit more stable than any other team. But these guys come, they win the Champions League, they go dry, they go to number 15, number 17, wherever they are today. They'll come back. Arsenal is still playing the building game. Well, we're building. They'll win the Champions League again, and we'll still be building. When does it end?
Until we finish the building. Ralph.
Yeah, I think that what Prosper has been saying is just pure facts. Just pure facts. I was making some notes in his observations, and I think you can't have a business without a clarity or a vision of where you need to go. You can't have a business and for the last approaching maybe mid-century, 25 years plus of owning the business, not know the culture of the fans, of the sport. I remember the person I was talking to. She's a Liverpool fan. It was her birthday the day before Friday, so I went to a drink up, and we were both talking about our teams, and we both said that how we both want each other's team to win the Premiership rather than Man City. Well, she's a Liverpool fan through and through, and I was talking about her history, and I said that how with Liverpool, they were a dominating factor in the 70s and 80s, and then you had Man United late 60s, disappeared in the 70s, but came back in the 90s. Between those two forces, we popped in for a speck of a time, and we didn't do the ultimate, which was to win the Champions League. And in the time when we was building, like Prosper did say, you had Chelsea. Chelsea were, I remember when I came over in '97, Chelsea, I think, was second division. I think second division. They weren't anywhere. And then within a space of nearly 30 odd years, they won the Premiership. They've done the Premiership back to back, and they won 2 Champions League. Man United, did the treble. So it was great. Arsenal was featured in between those times. But if you're looking at the way that Man City, Liverpool, and Chelsea are set up in recent times, they've got the bragging rights because they've done it, and they've done it with money. We all say we're trying to do things in the right way, yeah. But if you're going to win, and you said this yesterday, Alex, about endorsements with Saka doing his commercials. When you're endorsing a product, the people who is in charge of the product are aligning themselves with winners.
Mm-hmm.
if you're great one season off the next, guess what happens? They get somebody else in. I sit there, right, and I mean, my daughter, she loves PlayStation game, and I look at the front of every FIFA, and I can't remember one time when Arsenal was on the front of it. It was either Real Madrid, it's either Barcelona, it's either Liverpool, it's Man City, it's Chelsea, and I'm thinking, don't these players? This is the generation now. Don't these players want to have the fact that they are on the front of a well-known product, but the well-known product says, nah, you haven't won anything. Exactly. So that's the reason why we've got with Man City and Chelsea and Man United.
Exactly.
And that is, to me, as an Arsenal fan, my time, my energy, my voice, my soul, everything. You know, if I see one of them down the road fan, I'll rather not talk to them, because I'm Arsenal through and through. And I like to think that the people at the top are like the people who pay the tickets, who buy the merchandise, who go to all the locations. And that there seems to be a misalignment. And this is the reason why we should still have had the governing board to put the people at the top bang to rights. But this is what happens when you give an owner complete ownership of the club. He can do what he likes, and we got no voice. The only voice we have is when we cheer the team on, and platforms like this. Do you think Stan Kroenke or Josh sit down? They may sit down and watch maybe one or two other platforms. If they see us, they know that we're going to poke them in the eye. Do you think if you get poked in the eye once, do you want to go back and get it again? No. No. So they go everywhere else because they know that we are Arsenal fans. Eltel said that we're legacy fans. Alex and I was very lucky and honoured to go to not just Highbury on a couple of occasions, but the Emirates. I met my old-time hero, Charlie George. We both did. And the way that they treat us legacy fans, I find it nothing short than disgusting. But this is the club that I love. So after today, come Tuesday when we got Chelsea, of course I'm going to support my team, but I can't deny the dissatisfaction of not being able to win at least one time out of 20 years. It's like saying, for example, you're trying to date a girl, and you're trying to date this girl for 20 years, but she's moved on. She's married, she's got kids, but you're still trying to date her. You're still trying to date her. You have to move on. But you have to go up bigger and better to push that one person aside. And I think Arsenal is always going to be the bridegroom or the bridegroom, but never the bride.
Yeah. Well, this is how the Premier League table currently stands. It is current. Arsenal and Liverpool are tied on 74 points. Liverpool did beat eventually Liverpool 3-1, and as you know, Arsenal beat Wolves just yesterday. Prosper, how did you see the game against Wolves? Because I thought it was a stuttering performance, but the most important thing is the 3 points, isn't it?
You know, it's football is a strange game, but that's what makes it exciting. You know, if you remember very well, let's go back to the legacy Arsenal, the Thierry Henry generation, Patrick Vieira, Lumberg, that generation. If you remember very well, we used to have problems with Bolton Wanderers and Southampton, the Yakubu Southampton. If you remember very well.
Yeah.
Is this Yakubu? I think it was at Southampton then before we went to Everton, something like that. But we used to have the Faye Southampton. There's this midfielder used to be there, Faye, then the Bolton Wanderers of who's that guy? I've forgotten some of these guys anyway. We used to have a problem. Every time we play in those guys, we used to know we're going to give them points. Why? Because we wanted to win smart all the time. We wanted to play and win smart. So these guys would either get points from us, beat us, or get a draw all the time. So sometimes you have to scrap for those points. However, we need to know that first Chelsea that won the Premier League with Jose Mourinho, it used to score from corners. They would win a game from John Terry corner, heads in 1-0, they're done. And the season went and they won the league. Sometimes you have to scrap for those games. One thing I've liked about this Arsenal this season, it's scrapped for some games. They've scored from corners, headers, whatever, something that is so un-Arsenal-like, But it's just that finish, that at the end of the road, that part where you have to go an extra mile, that we let go of the gas and we go flat. You see? So for me, the Wolves win, it's fine. Some games you just have to scrap. That's what champions do. Sometimes you don't play pretty football, but you scrap it out. That's championship material, champion material. But we lack in somewhere. Somewhere the ingredient isn't adding up to get us across that line. And when I look around, because you can't say the Cronkies haven't put in their side. They've done so with Arteta. When I look around, the only part where we're lacking is the manager. The manager isn't there yet to know when to smell the money, when to smell the trophy and say, okay, this is where I put my foot down. Nobody's going past me. And we're not giving free handouts. He's not there yet.
And before I go to Ralph Prosper, it just I don't want to air the dirty linen. When you give an opinion about Arsenal or Mikel Arteta, many years ago, you wouldn't find people would shout you down and say you'd probably say that you're wrong. But now with social media, you give an opinion, especially now with Mikel Arteta, people want to come after you because you have an opposing opinion about Mikel Arteta or about the team. And I don't know why or how we arrive at this point that you can't have a reasonable conversation or discussion about our football team before someone comes in, starts insulting you, start using inappropriate words. For me, it's absolutely ridiculous because I've been watching some of the comments in the group, even though I'm no longer in the group because somebody's been sending me screenshots. Somebody like Prosper who knows his football, who knows about Arsenal, just give an opinion about Mikel Arteta, about Kai Havertz, and for somebody to go in and use those words, I think for me is inappropriate. We all support Arsenal Football Club, but what people seem to forget, Prosper and Ralph, is that it's not Arteta FC, it's not Kai Havertz FC. It's not Gabriel Jesus FC. It's not Bukayo FC. It's Arsenal FC. And we're here to support, and we should be allowed to give an opposing opinion about what we see. Anyway, that's my rant over, Ralph.
The
Sunday sermon, Alex.
that one was coming. That one was coming to me first. We have to look at where we're coming from. Supporters that have just joined in recently do not understand where Arsenal is coming from. I mean, probably we're even kinder with Arteta than I was with Wenger. Because I used to keep a record, even in those days, of Wenger's flop buys. There were the Sylvesters. These guys used to get from these big teams. There used to be the Sanderoses at the back there. Sigan. I used to keep a list of those people and I would really go hard wherever I could go hard in. Then we didn't have so much social media. It was maybe probably Facebook but I would really go hard. I'm like, why is Wenger buying this guy? Squilachis and I'll really go hard on him, I'll be like, no, this guy is not Arsenal material. And when I just saw Havertz run in the pitch, his face started, I said, this is not Arsenal material. His body language, everything doesn't suit with Arsenal. And it's okay. But now, if you just go at Arteta and you point out, even if it's a fact, you are attacked. But we are even harder on Wenger. And the nice part about Wenger is, if he messes up, He used to go like, okay, fine, I've messed up. Let me get rid of this player fast before he spoils my CV. You know, Wenger would get rid of the messes very fast, you know. He couldn't wait forever and give them a chance forever. He was at least sharp on that side. But when it comes to Mikel Arteta, because there's no pressure on him, he will stick to whatever he wants to stick to. Now, when it comes to the fans, the point where the fans don't understand the game is because of the trend of Arsenal to keep a manager forever, you know, there's that insecurity. I believe there's that insecurity in them. Okay, what if we chase Arteta, then the team will go down. And then they always refer to Unai, like when Arteta took over, the team was number 15th, number 14th, or whatever. But that was mid of the season.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
That was mid of the season. There was a time when Arteta was number 18 and he pulled his socks up to the top. You know? But you also have to look at the trends. When Wenger was leaving Arsenal, how much finance was coming to the club for players? 0 to nothing. He was making that money from selling the Van Persies, the Nasris, the whoever, just to keep that club top. And he really did a good job. When Unai came in, he was also not given the kitty that Arteta has. So he had to rely on the reserves. And that's why he picked a lot of talent from the reserves. You know, when Arteta came in, sell. All the young talents that would have been better, sell. He started buying his. Some of them are unknown. We don't even know where others are now, you know, who are worse than the ones we had that he let go, you know. So if we point out these things, it's not like we hate Arteta, but there is a process in everything. A child cannot just start school from standard 7 or grade 7. They have to start from grade 1.
Yeah.
That's when they'll understand the concepts well.
Yeah.
Arteta was boot camped to a big job. You know, Arsenal is up in the top 10 big clubs in Europe or in world football. It's there. So you don't get a grade 1 student to manage a big club. Let them go to championship or promoted sides. Let them learn their trade there. Let them know how to work on a budget. You know, Arteta's good friend. I know I've followed Arteta for quite a long time. When he was at Everton, I followed his history then when he was signing for Arsenal. Then I knew that's when I learned that Arteta and Alonso are very good childhood friends. They grew up together. They've been together through everything and they're very good friends, you know? And I'm there looking at Alonso. Alonso made a wise decision. He went to a league that is less demanding. He didn't pick up the club of that league or the clubs of that league. He went to a small team and raised its standards and won the league. So through the process, he's learned quite a lot. So that when he comes to Liverpool, Arsenal, these big clubs, he would have had that rich, you know, experience because he's won it against giants, you know. But Arteta hasn't proven himself. That's why I say if he leaves Arsenal, his story will end up like the Lampards or the Gerrards or the Manchester guy. What's his name again? This babyface guy. Solskjaer.
Oh my God, a Solskjaer. Yeah.
Yes, because it will be a drop from now on. He'll keep dropping and we'll forget about Arteta. If he leaves Arsenal, believe me, because he hasn't ascended the right way. He hasn't aimed his place at a big club. Yeah. So if people say, no, Arteta this, Arteta, don't talk bad about Arteta. No, we're not talking. We talk facts. There's a difference between me saying Arteta is a bad guy, whatever, and Arteta saying Arteta is failing to win. Arteta is failing to sign the right players with the right money. Those are facts, and we should point them out. And if you can't take facts and you want to be that Arsenal fan, you know, there's two sides to being a fan. There's hooliganism where everything must go my way. Forget about the facts. Just support as long as it's Arsenal, even if they're being racist. Because I'm Arsenal, I'll support Arsenal. No. You have to sit back and say, no, this is not right. This is not right. Let's add some logic to it. Even if we're Arsenal, and this is an in-house thing, there's the sad part is when we are in-house, we should be allowed the freedom to scrutinize with valid points, constructive criticism. But when we're outside there, we can say, okay, guys, we know Arteta's got this problem, but let's all rally for him. I would understand.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But you don't. We don't see that. We don't see that.
No.
Do we?
So anybody who says we might not win the league this season because of this and this, these facts, say September, October, you look at the problems in the team and you say, I think these problems were there last season, the other season. We might not win the league because of this, because it will come back to the draws, the small points we give away because of the small problems we'd have avoided. And those points will cost us the league. And then once you just say that, somebody will just come up. Then you are not an Arsenal fan. You are not being positive. Yeah. What? But you can see the problems are there, you know?
Ralph. Thank you for being patient, Ralph, man.
Okay.
So, there's just been one comment, Ralph. I just wanted to highlight this comment from Carl, who is our resident Liverpool supporter. He says that as a Liverpool fan, please give Arteta a 10-year contract, please, because you won't win the league.
Those are facts. Those are facts, you know.
Thank you.
I love you too, Carl.
Go on, Ralph.
Yeah, I was just thinking about being an Arsenal fan. One of my earliest memories was when we won the 1971 FA Cup, and to me that was like 1970 was Brazil winning the World Cup, 71 was Arsenal winning the FA Cup, and being a youngster watching on TV, I wanted to be my heroes. I wanted to be Pele. I wanted to be Charlie George, you know. And the only thing that I didn't do as often as I like to have done, one of my mates from school, he went to all the Arsenal matches, but it was at the height of, there's a lot of racism at the time. And, you know, our parents was very, very, you know, you can play football in the backyard or on the pitch, but you're not going to a football match. And we respected that, but it does burn you when your mates have gone and they come back and they tell you all about the atmosphere and everything else. And I've become, since with the channel with Alex, I've got maybe one or two people from work, and they said they've seen the channel and they like the banter, they like the information. It's not like other channels. That's the reason why we stand out a little bit. But we are open to criticism. And when you're on the platform, you have to, at times, go with your shield and your hard hat and take it, because you're opening yourself to people's opinions. And as James rightly said about Brian Clough, I'm trying to remember his quotation, I probably will misquote it, but everyone has an opinion and it's open for criticism. And that's just the way it is. Now, with technology, you can have a keyboard coward. I'm not going to say a keyboard warrior, because a keyboard warrior is somebody who does something positively.
Yeah.
But a keyboard coward is somebody that will say what I want to say and don't care about anyone's opinion, as long as their opinion is heard, and they can be as negative and as destructive as they want to be. And they feel that that's their right. And we're not one to say, you know, you can't express your freedom of choice or your freedom of expression or speech. But when it becomes hate, then that's where we draw the line. Pure and simple. That's where we draw the line. And you can go anywhere else, but on this platform, we won't stand for it. That being said, we're respectful. I have many conversations, as I mentioned before, with Man United fans, Liverpool fans, not so much them down the road fans. But
why not?
Well, pure and simple reason we can go into. But I'm a football fan, first and foremost. I love football. You know, I love my team. I love my fans. I keep replaying the best goal that I think I've seen so far with Reece Nelson last minute, because not just the significance of the match and the goal, it's what it did around the world. what he did in the stadium. If he was in that stadium at that time, I was watching the match, I was doing a watch along, and I had like a 10-second delay. So I had Ashley D saying, well, Ralph will celebrate in a minute when he gets it. But to me, it's just a sheer joy of not just being the opponent, but the way that we did it and the way that it affected the fans. And that's what I want for my team. If I go in on the player.
What about the Danny Welbeck goal that he scored for us?
Well, yes, Danny Welbeck.
Yeah.
When that, you know what? I was off my seat when that goal went in. When Sanchez, the FA Cup, against Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to get the beer in the Highbury pub, and Alex and everyone was jumping up because we scored. I missed it by about 2 seconds, and it was called back, potential call back, and it made it offside. But you see, all those things, that's, to me, I think that's the reason why maybe some fans are a bit envious about us, because, we do big ourselves up. I think time has kind of tempered our how can I put it? Our positivity. We tend to be a bit more realistic. We've been here before. We've seen the highs, and we experienced, to me, too many lows. But that's what makes us humble. And when you're my age, I'm not going to say what it is, but people can guess. When you're my age, you start looking at things a little bit different. You say, you know what? I want my team to win, but I can see there's going to be a few problems. Now, if I can see that as a fan, but my manager doesn't see it, the board doesn't see it, that's what gets me frustrated. Because it's like you're saying to me, it's raining, and it's not. It's a sunny day. No, it's raining. No, it's a beautiful day. No, it is raining. So that's what upsets me, is the fact that we're still not aligned with the board. The board is not aligned with the fans. It will say that it is, and they'll do certain things, and we'll promote certain things in the community. Do we want to see Arsenal playing in the white strip anymore? Because whenever I see the white strip, we always seem to lose in it, right? So for me, that is what is the fabric of my essence with being with the team, being the fan.
But Ralph,
if you want to argue about the historical events, I can say to you, listen to El Tel, listen to James, and then make your opinion as you will.
But Ralph, it's even come to the fact that I don't even give predictions anymore, because when I give an honest prediction where I believe Arsenal are not going to win, I look at the comments and people saying, "Oh, you're not a true Arsenal fan because you predicted that Arsenal are going to lose." And what happens? It happens that Arsenal have lost that game. So now I don't even give predictions, because people are going to get upset. Because in my opinion, I think when we come up against a particular opponent, we're going to lose or we're going to draw. And I got called out, you're not a true fan because you predicted Arsenal are going to lose or Arsenal are going to draw. It's gotten so ridiculous now, Ralph. It's so ridiculous.
But you see, Alex, what it is people's expectations and reality. I sometimes use this as a metaphor. I'm trying to remember the woman's name. If let's just say, okay, so I would like to date Pamela Anderson, right? That's my fantasy. For example, I want to date Pamela Anderson. Now, would Pamela Anderson want to date me? The realism is she's probably happily married, and she doesn't know who Ralph is from Arsenal Cannon for the TV, right? I think with Arsenal fans, we tend to build up our expectations to a point where we don't really. It's all about hope, and I said that to you as well. It's sometimes it's the hope that can kill you, because we're up against Bayern Munich at their ground, and we're going to put 5 past them. Is that being realistic? Is that being hopeful? Or is that just being naive? If you're playing and you're thinking we're going to put 5 past Bayern Munich, and it doesn't happen, then you're criticised because you didn't put the effort in, and that's the reason why you was criticised, is because you was real about being honest, and it jarred against certain fans, thinking, well, you're not a fan. You can be a fan. There's no stipulation about how you support this team, how you support any team. There's no stipulation. You can stay at home. You can go to the match. You can go home. You can go to all the home matches and not the away, and vice versa. You can do what we do here. You can do watch-alongs. You can do anything you like. We don't say there's no right or wrong way about how you support Arsenal. But if you are being violent under the banner of Arsenal, then that's where we draw the line. If you're being hateful about anybody else under the banner of Arsenal or any other platform, that's where we draw the line. And if you are so fragile in your mentality that you can't take a bit of realism, then you don't have to respond. You can switch it off.
Yeah.
Switch off.
Yeah. Just I'm sure we're going towards the end. Just to add on what Ralph has said, it's something. I'm going to take everybody back because I haven't had the opportunity to talk about the Bayern incident. You know, for the Bayern game, I said the league is all in the hands of the Aston Villa game. Everything is down to that. On the group, I told them the Tottenham game is not a big deal. We've been beating Tottenham recently. They're not a big ask. It's not a big question. But we win against Aston Villa. Everything opens up. The confidence and everything. People crushed me there. You know, we go to Bayern. We go to Bayern. Or rather, we start with Bayern. The same point, you know, it's different if I had Edin Nketiah as centre forward on that day. The opportunities Kai Havertz gave away in the first leg. Put a natural striker there, even if he's not a top striker. That instinct of knowing this is a goal opportunity. He'll take a goal. He'll force a very good save from the goalkeeper. Kai Havertz was waiting for I don't know what with the ball, and it was all going to the goalkeeper's hands 3 times. The game is 0-0. 3 times that happened. You know, and those were the goals that made us lose that game. Not that Bayern was difficult, because had we killed them off with those 2 goals, if he had scored 2 or even 1, it would have been a whole different game on that night. You know? Give Edin Nketiah the same opportunities. Those would have been goals.
But possible, do you not think we lost it in the first leg? By conceding?
That's what I'm talking about. It's the first leg I'm talking about.
All right, okay.
You see? The first half of the first leg. Because we didn't have a natural striker. And I've always been saying this on the group. Kai Havertz will score in a game where the goal doesn't have much significance. Somebody has already scored. He just scores an add-on or a third goal. Then everybody will ring praises for him. There are very few games that he scored. I think 1 or 2 that he scored deciders. You know? But on that day, he needed to step up. And he did it. Because he had clear-cut chances, and the goalkeeper was just waiting for him to come with the ball and receive it. You know, he was waiting for the defender to come and mark him instead of taking the shot. You know, so that's why you need a pure striker, because of that instinct to smell the goal. This is an opportunity. You know, so for a club like Arsenal to go 2-3 seasons without a centre forward, a big club, natural centre forwards, natural 9s. I mean, Jesus is not a natural 9. He's a striker. One who likes roaming around the place. But we need a natural number 9. 3 seasons without that, you sell Lacazette and then you don't replace Lacazette.
Or Aubameyang. You don't replace Aubameyang.
A top club like Arsenal. Those are unforgivables. You know, those are the things we point out and say, no. I think if where does Ivan Toney play again?
Brentford.
If Brentford knows how to, the need of having a number 9, what is our excuse as a big club, bigger than Brentford? Then now on the group you start hearing people say, no, Aston Villa is also a big club like Arsenal. How? They are miles away from us. We're not supposed to be playing on the same level with them, but there they are. They've had 2 on us this season. The other season, they made us fail to go into Europe, if you remember very well. Not this one, the one that, but the other one. It was Aston Villa that made us fail to get into Europe. You know, so there's something really wrong.
But I'm looking at Unai Emery, who's beaten us 4 times.
Yeah.
4 times in Europe,
and you have no excuse for that, because it's just the same as a heavyweight boxer losing against a middleweight. Aston Villa is a middleweight. We are a heavyweight team. So if you look at all the, if you go down to the nitty-gritties of everything, you find there's only one parameter that is making us lose to such a team, and that's a manager. Because if you look at the finances, the pedigree of the club, the history of the club, everything, Arsenal is way miles away from Aston Villa. But the only thing that is there that is giving Aston Villa an advantage is Unai Emery. You see? And that's why they're in the semi-final of the Europa, and everybody's saying, but he's a Europa coach. Have we won the Europa? You know, you're dissing the cup, but you've never won it.
Yeah.
You know, there's a difference between escorting teams. All we do as Arsenal is escort. Oh, we're in the Champions League, but are we winning it? So I'd rather go in Europa and win it,
exactly,
than elevate to Champions League. Because if I'm not winning, I'm only there to escort Bayern and everyone. Then there's nothing I'm doing. What's the point of competing if you're just going there to escort your friends?
Even West Ham, won the European Cup, Conference Cup last season with Declan Rice.
Yeah, you see.
Deary me. Look, let me go into the live chat anyway. Let me go into the live chat.
Yeah.
So we've got Carl, who said hi. And then Carl said, it was an easy win for Liverpool, never in doubt. It was a little bit in doubt because we were communicating. Now into the question about the book that Ralph was talking about. Never seen any Arsenal players on the front cover of that book there. Well, Thierry Henry was on the front in 2002, but I think, Carl, what Ralph was talking about is since Stan Kroenke has come in, we've not seen any Arsenal player on the front cover of that book there. But anyway, he said Bergkamp in 99 was on the front cover. So Campbell 2000 on the front cover. Okay,
going backwards.
Yeah, well, again forwards a little bit. 2004, Generally was on the front cover again. Patrick Vieira 2005. Do you want me to carry on? I have all the FIFAs. All right, thank you for that. And then Carl says, all right, we've read that one already. Ashley says, we are still going to drop points. We have the toughest run. Do we have the toughest run, Ralph?
Yeah, we got. So this is the other thing. The other observation I came up with as well. That's if you want to look at last season and the season before, when it came to coming towards the business end, we suffered with injuries or a lack of form. You know, we say we've got a strong bench and then we don't have a strong bench. We've got injuries and they come at the wrong time, or they come at the right time, whichever way that you want to look at it, if you're one of our rivals. We've got a tough run in, but like I said, I don't want to concentrate on either side of that track because it's distracting. My track is the next match. The next match is Chelsea. And everyone's saying, but Chelsea. Have you seen Chelsea lately? Other than I think against Man City yesterday, but have you seen Chelsea lately? Is it Palmer, one of their young players?
Oh, Palmer, yeah, who used to play for Man City, yeah.
Right. I was swapped him to be honest, because he is one of those players that he can make things happen, and he knows where the goal is. And is it going to be controversial if I say we're going to draw that match?
No, it shouldn't be controversial.
No,
it shouldn't be.
That's what football is all about.
Yeah,
we've got a tough run in. And the thing is, our rivals know that, and the opposition that we're going to be playing against, they will do whatever it takes, because that's when they want to start making sure that they're either avoiding relegation or trying to get into Europe.
Yeah. Not that I want to crush what you guys have said, but I want to take into a different dimension. All that you said, like we have a tough run, is true. But then again, I posted something in September and I brought those screenshots. I think, Ralph, you're still on the group, right?
Ralph is
on the
still in the
account
group.
for that.
Ralph, you're
What's
still in
up?
the group, aren't you?
You still on the WhatsApp group, eh?
Yes,
the
I
canon
am.
together, yes.
Yeah.
You remember those screenshots I mentioned in September after, is it 4 games? I was like, this team is not going to win the league, because at the time, I mean, it's not like the Premier League timetable or the Premier League fixtures are made as you go. They come out before the league starts. So as a proper team that's challenging for the trophy, you're supposed to plan, okay, guys, last season we flopped at the end of the league. And this season we've got tough games at the end of the league. So whatever games at the start of the league that are supposed to be straight 3 points, let's get them. So when it gets tough there at the end, we should be at least 10 points ahead of everyone. So that even if we get a draw, it shouldn't affect us that much. You plan for everything. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. You know?
Yes. Yes.
You plan very well for everything. But in the first games, that's when we're doing the Kai Havertz experiment. Dropping points, Kai Havertz, and whatever experiments, his lineups and whatever, he puts people that score goals like Trossard on the bench, puts in whatever, you see, and all those things. And then at the end of the season, you start complaining, oh, we're going to have a tough run. Didn't you know when the season was starting? You see? So for me, those are not excuses I buy, because we've given away cheap points at the beginning of the season. First up, we gave away points that we were not supposed to give away. You see? Then we got all serious January now. You know?
And also the point you make about having a striker. And also the point you make about having an out-and-out striker. There's been opportunities when, you know, with Kai Havertz, with Bukayo Saka, with Trossard, maybe with Odegaard, they're not going to score the goals. You have an out-and-out striker who can guarantee you 25 plus goals. You know for a dead cert, if it's the goalkeeper on him, he's going to score. What happens?
Not only that,
we don't have that striker.
Not only that, but if you look at the Aston Villa centre backs and the Bayern Munich centre backs, they were at peace. They were at home. You have a big guy there, or an out-and-out centre forward who is a menace. Those defenders will be rattled, and it will give opportunities to everybody else. It will be an open place for everybody else to score, even if he doesn't score. But if you have Jesus there, you know he's not going to be in the box, in the 16-yard. He'll be somewhere trying to dribble or show his skills. Then you have a Kai who has, unfortunately, he's got a poor first touch. His ball control is horrible. I said it from the start of the season. So you're not going to rely on Kai Havertz to hold the ball at the front there because his ball control is bad. You know, so the centre backs like that because they're going to jump at the crumbs and they'll clear it off. And they had peace. You see? So the game was done even before we went into the pitch. You know?
Yeah.
Those are the things. You know, but if you have Ivan Toney there, even if he doesn't score, Saka and everybody, Odegaard will have opportunities because the defenders will be, the defending midfielder and the centre backs will be on him, leaving the other guys open. But with Kai in front, it's a holiday time for a centre back.
Is Arteta gonna put Thomas Partey back in right side defence?
As a right back.
That game costed us points. You see, the points we need right now. The points we need right now. You know,
I've forgotten about that, Ralph, man.
Also, don't forget. Also, this roaming around of Zinchenko. Remember in the first half of the league, how we were exposed with counter attacks and goals would come in from Zinchenko's side.
Yeah, but Prosper, you cannot blame Zinchenko. It's the manager who's told him to go there.
Exactly.
He's not a left back.
Exactly. You cannot blame the players. You do what the manager tells you.
There you go. There you go. Actually, just one other thing as well. Just pointing up on Carl. When Carl said about the front of the book, the people that you mentioned, what did they do? Have they won anything?
But that's what I said, isn't it, Ralph?
That's I'm just clearing up with Carl. I know Carl is just a bit of a wind-up merchant, but I'm just saying since that time, we've had young players. Look at this. I can rack them off the top. Gael Clichy, Bakary Sagna, Sami Nasri, Fabregas,
Theo Walcott,
Pleb, right? Riziki, Robin van Persie. Within that time period, and Eduardo, not forgetting Eduardo.
Yeah.
Within that time period, 2009, I think 8 or 9, that was one of the best chances that we had to have won the Premiership, and we failed.
Yeah.
And what do we do? Actually, I have to put in Ashley Cole in there as well. What do we do with those players? Where did those players went to? They went to our rivals.
To our rivals, yeah.
And what did they do then?
Well, then they went on one, innit?
They won trophies.
Yeah.
Right. So are you saying that Arsenal has become a breeding ground, and then we help our rivals get to where they're going to get to? Do you think our rivals would do the same to us?
They would never sell their assets to us.
They give us riffraffs. They never give us the N'Golo Kantes. They're going to give us the Jorginhos, whoever the Sylvesters, washed out players. We give them the cream. And now we are breeding managers. From players, now we're breeding managers. We'll give Arteta all the experience, and when he leaves Arsenal with the experience, that's when he'll go and win something somewhere else. Believe me.
Is he gonna go to Man United then?
No, probably after Arsenal, he's going to go to Spain.
Yeah, he'll go to Spain.
Probably Barcelona. Anyway, good luck to him, man. And Ashley says, we get the rejects. Yeah, yeah. Oh my goodness, man. Anyway,
we hate them.
Yeah, so we go onwards on Tuesday against Chelsea at home, and I'm not going to give any predictions because I might upset somebody, one or two of you. But Brother Prosper, do you want to give a prediction or nah?
No, I think if I say something, if I say something, then we win. Then people will be on me saying, "You wanted us to lose, but we won." You get it? But if you look at Chelsea are our rivals. They wouldn't want us to win the league over them. To them, even a draw with us will be enough to pull us back.
Yeah,
they just don't want us to have won over them.
Yeah.
No,
that's how significant that game is. You know, just to frustrate us. Not that they have anything in it, but they just want to frustrate us. So it's going to be a tough game. I think it will be that game whereby it will have very fine margins, a 1-0, 2-1 or something like that.
Yeah. The Assembles just entered the live chat. It says that wasn't that the same time period when Arsenal had 3 broken legs in 3 seasons running, Ralph?
We had Aaron Ramsey, we had Eduardo,
flipping hell,
and I'm not sure who the other player was, but that was the season that we was on a we was playing against was it Birmingham? No, Sheffield United was one team. I'm trying to remember who the other team was, but Eduardo, he was on the way, and actually Diaby.
Diaby. Yeah.
Is that the same time we had? Is that the same generation when we had probably the best striker in the world, Nicolas Bednar?
Lord,
oh man!
I remember one match that I think I'm trying to remember if it was a Champions League match, and he came on, and Fabregas had a shot on goal. And he was on the line, and he accidentally blocked it. He tried to edge it, but he ended up blocking the shot. I was thinking, here we go.
And he had so much pride.
Andre Sharvin.
Yeah.
Carl saying it's going to be a draw. He reckons it's going to be 1-1 against Chelsea. And then someone says, yes, Diaby. And then he says, but he'd score goals unlike Eddie Nketiah.
but you know what? The issue of Nketiah is a subjective issue. You know, the Emil Smith Rowe that Arteta found and the Emil Smith Rowe today, you look at him even on the bench, that brightness in him is out. Why? Because if the manager puts it in your face, I don't trust you, your confidence goes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if you look at how Havertz was playing and you're like, I'm way better than this guy. I've given so much than this guy to this club. But how come he's playing and I'm here? You know? And Nketiah has always played the last 15 minutes of the game when everybody else is tired, when the game is already done. So it's very unfair to look at Nketiah and say, well, he would have felt, because there was a time when Nketiah was asked to step up and he stepped up. You know? But now he's given the cramps. So that confidence goes off, everything goes off, and then we compare. I don't think it's fair, because if Nketiah was given the same love as Havertz has been given, definitely would have scored more. You know, because Havertz has, I think, in the starting 11, if not Gabriel and Saliba, he has more minutes. Gabriel, Saliba, and Saka, he has more minutes than any other player in that team.
Yeah. Let's have a last look at. So what I did a live poll, and the question was, has the title gone? And we've had just 5 votes actually, and 40% of the votes say that yes, the title has gone, and of course 60% say no, the title has not gone. Well, listen, we are done over here. A slightly extended live show. And yeah, actually, in the end, a bit of a spoiler alert. Spoiler alert: Man United beat Coventry on penalties.
Oh,
yeah. Unfortunately,
damn.
it scored. They scored within regulation time, only for VAR to pick up and say it was actually offside. So it went to penalties, and Coventry are out. Unfortunately, the spirit of '87 is no longer. Brother Prosper, man, you got to come on the Easy Talk, man. You got to come on the Easy Talk this Friday.
Definitely. We're going to do it.
Good. Ralph, you can't make it, can you?
I'll come back to you. I'm not sure if I'm on a Zoom call with work or if I'm off. I think I might be in a Zoom call, but I'll let you know. I'll let you know in due time.
Cool. Prosper, there's one more comment in the live chat, and this comes from the Assemble. He says, Martinelli was Aubameyang's understudy when Arteta got here. He was moved to the wing, and Nketiah got the spot. Figure that one out.
Exactly. The shuffling, the unnecessary shuffling. I mean, I looked at, in all honesty, at that time when Martinelli came, he was way better than Saka. But it's the bench that has destroyed Martinelli. He was way better. I remember that game we played against Chelsea when he made Kante crawl. He dribbled Kante fell and he crawled and he went and scored. That was his first big game, I think, when he came to the club. And I was like, this guy is a treasure. And I wasn't worried about Aubameyang going because I had seen what he would do. And he would come in and score goals like Trossard. But for some strange reason, Arteta told him not to cut in, so that Xhaka can be coming in. And that changed Martinelli's game completely, because every time he cut in, Arteta would substitute him. You know, but he gives Trossard the freeway to cut in, but Martinelli isn't allowed to cut in.
Yeah. He's not quite the same player, is he? He's not quite the same player.
He's not quite the same player, because if you take away the player's natural ability, you're going into the game, if the player's rating is 77, you go into a game with a 70, 69. Because what he can do best, you've told him, don't do that. Play the game like this, so that you cross it in, so that Havertz can score a tap-in. That's why I always say Havertz is like Haaland. They're tap-in players. Once you just cut the supply, they're done.
Yeah, they're finished. All right. Chad, last comment there from Carl. Says, bring back Franny Jeffers, the original Fox in the Box. He's long since retired, man.
Jeffers. Oh, man.
Original Fox in the Box. Anyway, guys.
That was hounded.
Yeah. That's it, people. I will be back on Tuesday evening, late night special, instant post-game reaction. I think it's going to be like 10:30 p.m. UK time. Prosper. The time difference, man. Need to sort it out, brother. For the easy
Yeah,
talk.
you know, sometimes it's 2 hours, sometimes an hour, sometimes we're on the same time. So it's very confusing. So I have to go like, okay, what's the difference now?
What time is it there now in Malawi?
Right now it's 2021. That's 21 past 8.
Right.
So we're like
Okay.
we're like an hour ahead now.
1 hour. 1 hour. All right. Man, when's your birthday?
My birthday. It's on the 1st of June.
All right. I'll send you an alarm, man.
Nice one. Nice one. Nice one.
All right, that's it, people. That's it. So I will be back on a Tuesday, a late night special for Arsenal versus Chelsea. And who knows?
Who knows? I mean,
who knows?
Who knows? It might just fall on our laps, you know?
Yeah.
Who knows? This is football. We love the game.
Prosper, thank you very much. Ralph, thank you for your presence on Canafoya TV. And actual fact, this has been canon for the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world. An alarm. I need an alarm, man.